17,000 subscribers divided by 58 million. I'm sorry, 17,000 subscribers divided by 57 million followers. Do you know what percentage went? Do you guys really want to know? 0.003% went to want to subscribe to our channel. Did you understand what number I just said right now? To say they've lost their influence and their sizzle of what the Obamas used to be would be an understatement.
Behind the glossy speeches, best-selling books, and Netflix contracts lies a persona built more on branding than substance. Patrick Bet-David dismantles Michelle Obama's carefully packaged image, showing how influence and celebrity were mistaken for true leadership. What looks like history-making is really just a continuation of a polished political dynasty. Bet-David makes it impossible to ignore. Michelle's legacy isn't groundbreaking change. It's the art of marketing disguised as meaning.
Play this clip. This is her talking about how expensive it was to live in the White House. Go for it.
It's expensive to live in the White House.
Yeah.
As many people don't know. Sure. I mean, much is not covered. You're paying for every food, every bit of food that you eat. You know, you're not paying for housing and the staff in it, but everything, even travel. If you're not traveling with the president, if your kids are coming on a Bright Star, which is the First Lady's plane, we had to pay for their travel to be on the plane. It is an expensive proposition, and you're running for 2 years and not earning an income.
Michelle Obama has spent years polishing her image as America's favorite former First Lady. But Patrick Bet-David doesn't buy the hype. He tears into the carefully constructed brand, exposing the contradictions, the staged authenticity, and the endless self-promotion that turned Michelle into a walking, talking business model of victimhood wrapped in celebrity gloss. She wasn't just a first lady. She was a marketing campaign with legs. And Bet-David dismantles the myth with ruthless clarity.
Obama's net worth in 2007. What was Obama in 2007? 1.2 million, 1.3 million. Okay. So their net worth is, let's write this down. This is pre-White House. Their collective net worth was 1.3 million. Can you go to where their net worth was in 2016 when they're done being presidents? Okay. 2016. So their net worth, as expensive as it was, they went from being 1.3 million.
If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Michelle's rise to cultural icon status didn't come from accomplishments. It came from branding. She wasn't elected. She wasn't chosen by the people. She was married to the right man at the right time. Yet she paraded around as if her opinions carried the weight of an oracle, as if the nation should hang on every word of her lectures. Patrick Bet-David skewers this absurdity, pointing out that Michelle is the only First Lady who somehow turned herself into a multi-million-dollar franchise, complete with Spotify deals, best-selling books, and a global speaking tour, all built on the premise that she understands the struggles of ordinary people while living in mansions and flying private.
So you watch, well, Rogan's interviewing other people. You're sitting there, and then you see panel. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? You can say whatever you want about The View. Guess what everybody talks about every week? The View. Why? Because here's what she said, here's what he said, here's what she said.
Right, yeah.
So they're bringing, even though you can't stand what they stand for, they bring, you know, what do you call it, Tulsian. They'll bring and have the fight with Stephen A. They'll bring and put the people on there, Junior and all these guys, and have the conversations with them. Of course, you don't agree with it. Michelle is doing a podcast from a standpoint of you guys.
Her persona as an ultimate relatable woman is one of the biggest cons in modern politics. She plays the role of the woman next door, the grounded mom who eats at Chipotle and shops at Target. But behind the photo ops and stage appearances is a woman who spent decades surrounded by privilege, power, and luxury. Bet-David calls out the hypocrisy. Michelle preaches humility and sacrifice while cashing checks larger than the average family's lifetime earnings. For giving a one-hour speech about shared struggles. It's not relatability. It's performance art for an audience desperate to believe in her sincerity.
Go to their net worth today, 2025. What is the net worth today?
It's got to be worth a couple $100 million. No?
It's two numbers. You see 70 million to 250 million dollars. So 70 million to 250 million dollars. If you type in a couple other places, you'll see 100 million. You'll see 70 million. But you'll see a couple ranges. But let's just stick to the $70 million. Pre-presidency, 1.7. So expensive being at the White House. It was so expensive that our net worth went from 1.3 million to 12.2 million 8 years later.
Michelle's brand is victimhood dressed up as empowerment. Her speeches are loaded with stories of how hard life has been, how she felt unseen, how people doubted her, how she had to fight for her place. Bette David finds a comedy in this routine. This is a woman who went to Princeton and Harvard, married a man who became president, lived in the White House, and now enjoys a life of unimaginable wealth. Yet somehow, she convinces audiences that she's still fighting the system, still the underdog, still oppressed by invisible forces. Patrick exposes it for what it is, the ultimate hustle, a billionaire victim narrative.
I think she's trying to do. And again, pure speculation, folks. I may be fully wrong here. I think she's taking a page out of Jada Pinkett's playbook. Because I think they're getting ready to announce that something's going on in the marriage. And I think this is their way of doing it in a very subtle way. Because if you're taking shots at him slowly, you're taking shots, they're going in games in different ways. I'm not sure if there's been an entanglement or not, but I think there may be a possibility of a news coming here soon that could actually get her podcast to blow up. And you know what could get her podcast to blow up? If she announces.
The irony is that Michelle Obama has never been shy about her distaste for politics, yet she can't stop meddling in it. She claims she wants a private life away from the spotlight, but pops up every election cycle to scold voters, warn them what's at stake, and paint anyone who disagrees as dangerous. Bette David highlights how Michelle perfected the art of having it both ways, avoiding accountability by pretending to be above politics, while still shaping the country's direction through carefully curated lectures. Her speeches are less about inspiration and more about moral superiority. She talks down to Americans as if they're children who need constant reminders of how to behave. Bette David ridicules this tone, comparing her to a school principal scolding students for not doing their homework. But Americans don't want to be lectured by someone who hasn't lived their struggles in decades. They don't want to hear about sacrifice from someone whose idea of hardship is adjusting to a $12 million post-White House estate.
This is a lady that sold 14 million copies of her book, 725 on day one. 8 million US, 14 million worldwide. Sometimes you got to watch your own content from back in the days and see what happened there. Now, don't get me wrong. If there is a divorce going on, if there is a challenge going on in the marriage, if there is something like that and you're going through it, look, it's an issue.
Patrick digs deeper into the irony of Michelle's public image as a champion of women. She positions herself as the face of female empowerment. Yet her platform has been built entirely on the shadow of her husband's presidency. Still, she lectures women about independence and empowerment as though she built her empire from scratch. The disconnect is staggering. Michelle's ventures after the White House are equally laughable. The production deals, the documentaries, the podcasts, all designed to cement her as the ultimate voice of wisdom, land more like vanity projects. Bette David mocks how every venture is framed as giving back, when in reality it's just another revenue stream for the Obama brand. It's capitalism wrapped in activism, and the audience eats it up without realizing they're paying to be lectured by someone who hasn't lived like them in decades.
Barack Obama makes shockingly honest admission about the state of his marriage to Michelle. Okay. So here we go. Barack Obama, shocking admission about the state of his marriage to Michelle. Go a little bit low, Rob, if you could. So everybody's wondering, like, you weren't there at Jimmy Carter funeral, you weren't there at Trump, Michelle I'm talking about, and then you start a podcast with your brother. Barack Obama makes shocking admission about Michelle Obama. I was in deep deficit with my wife. He told Tepper, conversation Thursday. So I've been trying to dig myself out of that hole by doing occasionally fun things.
And then there's a constant speculation about her running for president. Michelle insists she has no interest, yet she never shuts the door completely. Patrick sees right through the act. It's the oldest trick in the book. Deny interest to seem humble, while keeping suspense alive for maximum influence. Michelle loves the whispers, loves being floated as the savior of the Democratic Party, loves the idea that she could swoop in and rescue the country from chaos. Bette David hammers the point home. If she truly had no interest, she'd shut it down completely. But she won't, because the speculation keeps her relevant. Michelle's biggest weapon is guilt. Criticize her, and you're accused of being bitter, sexist, or resentful. Bette David refuses to play along. He breaks down how she uses identity politics as a shield, ensuring any challenge to her contradictions can be dismissed as prejudice. It's not about ideas. It's about emotional manipulation. She convinces audiences that doubting her is the same as doubting progress itself. And it's a scam that has worked far too long.
Office responds to Trump's accusation of treason outrageous. Let me read this to you. And Thomas Ellsworth, I'm coming to you first, so please be prepared with all your notes.
Ready.
Obama's office spokesperson, Patrick Rodenbush, great first name, rejected the office of the Director of National Intelligence. Reports claim that senior Obama administration officials orchestrated the Russia collusion hoax, stating, out of respect for the office of the presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response. And he called the allegations outrageous and ridiculous, a weak attempt of this.
Patrick Bet-David strips away the gloss and exposes Michelle as what she really is, a brand, a symbol, a product. Her legacy isn't about policies, reforms, or even unique ideas. It's about selling herself as a cultural phenomenon. She has mastered the art of victimhood as marketing, privilege as struggle, and condescension as inspiration. And behind it all lies the undeniable truth. Michelle Obama is less a leader than a celebrity who figured out how to cash in on politics without ever taking responsibility. That's the roast Patrick delivers, dismantling the illusion of Michelle Obama as a selfless icon. Instead, she stands revealed as a polished face of a political dynasty built on entitlement, branding, and hypocrisy.
Any of this crap? No, nothing. Obama was silent. Why is Obama silent? Ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen.
He's above this.
Or maybe he's deep in it. Maybe he's not above it, he's deep in it. And so he sends a spokesperson, Patrick Rodenbush, which is what Obama doesn't do. He's never Rodenbush, is got an issue here.
What was that?
Now he goes, the office of the presidency and the office. So they're speaking in third person. Whenever you have people in Washington that are cornered, they speak in third.
Patrick Bet-David doesn't stop at calling out Michelle's false image. He digs into what her continued relevance says about modern politics. The fact that Michelle, someone who never ran for office, never passed legislation, never debated policy, is still treated as a looming presidential contender perfectly reflects a culture addicted to celebrity over substance. Her entire aura is a brand, carefully curated to keep the possibility alive while offering nothing of value in return. This is politics as influencer culture, and Patrick skewers it brilliantly.
Sudden, the Dems did flip in August, and they put a Newsom, Michelle combination. Do you know what mainstream media would do with that? CNN, what Jimmy Fallon, Colbert, all these podcasts, the Oprah Winfrey, the NBA, LeBron.
Forget it.
Do you know what Taylor Swift, do you know what these guys would be doing? It would be bonkers. By the way, if it is Michelle and Newsom.
Michelle's grip on politics is less about ideas and more about weaponized nostalgia. The Obama years are remembered by her supporters as glamorous, sophisticated, and historic. Even though the actual results tell a different story, stagnant wages, endless wars, and racial division, Michelle is a glossy filter slapped over a messy reality, and Patrick makes it clear that she thrives on the fact people prefer the fantasy. Her real political strength isn't leadership, it's marketing, the ability to smile in the spotlight while someone else does the dirty work. Patrick cuts deeper, showing how Michelle's influence shaped the Democratic Party. Obsessed with image, relying on personality over principle, and unable to confront failure. Every time Democrats float her name as a possible candidate, it's not hope, it's desperation. Proof they have no new ideas, no fresh talent, and no ability to move forward without recycling old icons.
Obama's second term, he did none. Obama's first term, I think he did one. And Bush's first and second term, he did none on day one. This guy's come out the gates. One moment he's talking to World Economic Forum. Another second you're looking at him, he's talking to California, chewing out, Bass and Mayor Bass and talking to the folks there. Next minute he's in Vegas talking about no tax on tips. Next minute you're seeing him talking to military folks. Next minute you're seeing him on the...
What makes Patrick's roasting is how easily Michelle Obama's contradictions unravel under scrutiny. She claims to reject politics, yet stays politically relevant. She insists she's tired of the spotlight, yet never leaves it. She positions herself as an outsider, while being one of the most connected elites in the world. The contradictions are so glaring Patrick doesn't even need to exaggerate them. Michelle's entire career after the White House has been built on monetizing fame while pretending to resist it. That hypocrisy is what Patrick rips apart with ruthless precision. Her defenders will argue she's inspiring, that her speeches and books uplift millions, that her story matters. But Patrick flips the narrative. Inspiration without substance is hollow. It's one thing to write about hope. It's another to deliver it. And Michelle never has. She leveraged hope as a brand, but left nothing behind but slogans.
Story about Michelle Obama starting a podcast. And I kind of want to go through this, Michelle Obama's podcast. And her and her brother, they started a podcast. They look like twins. If you want to... No, I'm actually not being sarcastic.
Yeah, well, if she
Rob, what is this, Rob?
Where's her
This
brother?
is the announcement of the podcast.
Okay, play the clip. Maybe this will help out a little bit with subscribership. Go ahead and play the clip.
Hey TikTok, it's Michelle Obama and I'm here with my big brother Craig.
Hey everybody.
We're here because we're excited to announce the launch of our new podcast.
The ultimate punch in Patrick's takedown comes when he frames Michelle as the perfect product of a broken system. She is a symbol of what politics becomes when it's consumed by performance, where branding outweighs achievement, narrative overshadows reality, and image is everything. Michelle isn't a stateswoman. She's a lifestyle brand. She isn't a leader. She's a curated fantasy. Patrick leaves no doubt. Her role in politics is less about the people and more about keeping herself relevant while the cameras are rolling. By the end, the roast lands where it should. Michelle Obama is not the future of politics, but a relic of an era built on illusion. Patrick Bet David doesn't just destroy her reputation. He dismantles the illusion that Michelle is untouchable. What remains isn't a shining icon, but a figure who built a career on presence without purpose, applause without achievement, and power without accountability.